I don't want to take this book back to the library tomorrow because I love it so much. I don't want anyone else to have it. Hello everyone, and as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about The Thing About Jellyfish by Ali Benjamin. Anyone who knows me now will know that I start every review, both here and on my blog, to do with contemporaries by saying that I don't like contemporaries, so why do I keep reading them? Yet here we are, doing a review of another contemporary book. The story follows a girl called Susie who finds out that her best friend died via drowning. That's not a spoiler, it's literally on the blurb for this book. So she finds out that her friend drowned, and she's unable to accept that as a fact because she knew that her friend was a really, really good swimmer. So it doesn't make sense to her that that would be the way that she would die. So through a series of circumstances, she finds out about a particular type of jellyfish, and she becomes obsessed with learning everything that she can about jellyfish, hence the title, The Thing About Jellyfish. So she becomes so fixated on jellyfish, and she starts to look into experts that she could speak to that could help prove her theory that the thing that killed her friend wasn't drowning, it was a jellyfish. It normally takes me a little while to get into a book, but this I was completely hooked from the first page. This is fundamentally a story about loss and grief and learning how to cope with those overwhelming feelings. And through the course of this book, Susie talks about and shares what she started to learn about the world to help her understand things more and kind of contextualize what she's feeling. So I'm going to read a little bit from the end of the prologue that really stuck out to me. Your heart just keeps going. It does what it needs to do, one beat after another, until it gets the message that it's time to stop, which might happen a few minutes from now and you don't even know it. But some hearts beat only about 412 million times, which might sound like a lot, but the truth is that barely even gets you 12 years. It's just written in such a beautiful and poetic way, and there's this sense of innocence to it as this character starts to learn more about the world around her and is constantly grasping for reasons that will explain everything that she's feeling. Honestly, I haven't felt this depth of feeling in terms of reading a heavily emotional book since reading the book Thief by Marcus Zusak. And honestly, when I read that book, I never thought I would find another book that would even come close to what I felt when experiencing that one. But this is up there. It's something that you have to read to fully understand. You have to experience it. It made me cry so many times because it's so relatable. Anyone who has experienced the death of anyone in their lives, regardless of how well you knew the person, it's always shocking to have that moment of realization about your own mortality, and not just your own mortality, but the mortality of everyone that's around you. And it's completely normal, especially as a 12-year-old girl, to start to grasp for reasons why something so sad and horrible has happened. Can't even say that her connection to jellyfish is completely irrational, because it makes sense in the context of this story. Her best friend was such a good swimmer, so it doesn't make sense that her dying in that particular way would be the way that her life would end. And she's mute for most of this story. It's very much like her internal monologue and her narrative, because she stops talking after the death of her friend, and she just becomes so isolated and again so completely obsessed and entranced with jellyfish, and just the concept of learning more about it, not just so that she can understand and she can pinpoint that exact reason and go, that is the one that did it. It's because she believes it's just the true factor, because if her friend drowned, they wouldn't be looking for a jellyfish sting. The narrative flits between past and present, and you get a real sense in those past scenes of what the relationship between Susie and Franny was really like. And it's in those scenes where Susie becomes an even more complex and well-written character than she already is, because she is not entirely innocent in some of the things that she does, and at times it's really hard to feel sorry for some of the situations that she's in, which just added an even more human element to it, that she was a character going through all of this and she's flawed herself. Also, I didn't expect to learn a lot about jellyfish, but this book is littered with so many facts about different types of jellyfish that it's actually got me interested in looking more into jellyfish, which didn't expect that would be the thing that I would take away from this book, but here we are. That's all that I can really say about this book without going completely into spoiler territory. So, have you read it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know some of your favourite books that deal with grief. I will be back with a new video soon. Bye!